Okay, can you tell me what are you learn in kindergarten, primary school, uh, secondary school, high school? Just like summarize shortly. What
Yeah,
do you
okay,
learn in
okay.
Ghana? Yeah,
Let me take you on a quick journey,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Down memory lane on my system, education system in Ghana.
From
Um,
kindergarten.
from kindergarten,
Huh.
I can't quite remember, but I know kindergarten, where that's where you have to pick the basics.
Yeah,
You learn the basics of everything,
yeah,
right? You have to study at school. So you learn the basics of math, the basics of
yeah,
literacy, like, yeah. So yeah, we have all that.
yeah,
You learn numbers,
yeah,
you learn the letters,
yeah,
and then how to combine these letters and the sounds
yeah,
to make words,
yeah.
to read
Oh,
sentences, and then you learn how to write.
yeah,
All that happened in the kindergarten. And
yeah,
then we also sing and dance a lot.
yeah, yeah,
Right, we sing and dance a
yeah.
lot. And then there's also one interesting thing about kindergarten.
Yeah,
There is a nap time.
yeah,
There's always nap time
yeah,
and then snack time
yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah,
kindergarten.
yeah.
That is one fun thing I really like. Okay, that's all I can
But
remember.
what years old? 6 or 5?
Oh, yeah, it depends. It depends. With the educational system, if your parents are the working class,
Yeah,
right, then you have to go to school as early as 6 months.
6 months.
Yes, yes.
Wow,
When you're
that's
just
good.
6 months old, you
Oh,
can
I
start
got it.
going to
Yeah, yeah.
school because your parents are working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some kind of they need babysitter.
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
they need nannies or a
Yeah,
daycare. We
yeah,
call it the
nanny.
daycare
Yeah, yeah.
centers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
same thing in big cities
yeah,
in Vietnam too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we have all the systems. So
yeah,
you can go to school as early as six
yeah,
months.
yeah,
It
yeah. I got it.
depends on
Yeah,
the job of your
yeah,
parents. But if your parents are in the informal, especially your mom,
yeah,
right? Ever in the informal sector, maybe she has got her own business and then
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
then
got it.
maybe you can stay home till you get to 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you go to school,
yeah,
right? Yeah. But if they are in the strict working class or in the formal sector, then
yeah,
by 6 months you have to start going to
yeah,
school.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how the system is like. So from I think regular school itself will start somewhere in the nursery,
Yeah,
right? Where you are somewhere
yeah,
3 years old,
yeah,
right? So you can have a nursery one, nursery
yeah,
two,
yeah,
right? From nursery you go to the kindergarten.
yeah,
Yeah. I spoke about the daycare
yeah,
earlier. So let me say if you go 6 months and all this, and then you start from the
yeah,
daycare,
yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's a funny way we say that why you say a sheep or toy or something like that.
Yeah,
So you start from the daycare, then you go to the nursery.
yeah,
Maybe the nursery it could be 3 years
yeah,
or 4 years. So 3, 4 years, it could be nursery one,
yeah.
nursery
I
two.
got it. I got
Then
it.
you go to kindergarten,
Yeah,
right? I think kindergarten should be somewhere 4 years, kindergarten
yeah,
one,
yeah,
and then maybe depends, right? Kindergarten could be 5 years or 4 years,
yeah,
and then kindergarten two,
yeah,
and then from your kindergarten, then you go to your primary one, and
yeah,
then primary one should be somewhere 6, 7 years,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Same,
right?
same thing in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So from primary one, then you go to class one, class two, till you go to primary six.
yeah,
And then primary six, you go to the junior high school.
yeah,
That's also for 3 years.
yeah,
And that's what you call the secondary school, right? Or I don't know, people call it middle school.
yeah,
Yeah, so you go to junior high school for 3 years. And then from junior high school, you go to the high school
yeah,
or the senior high school.
yeah,
That is for another 3 years. And then
yeah,
from the senior high school, you go to the university for 4 years.
yeah,
All right, yeah. So that's how the system is. Okay, in primary school, you just build on the concepts,
yeah,
right? They just keep adding on. So in primary school, you get exposed to more of complex situations in mathematics,
yeah,
right? Like complex addition, complex subtraction,
yeah,
right? Keep going. And when you go to the upper primary,
yeah,
that's where maybe algebra, and
yeah,
then with the literacy, you start writing essay, and then
yeah,
you do more complex stuff until you get to the junior high school.
yeah,
I think in the junior high school, that's where you do a lot, like serious studying.
yeah,
I wouldn't say serious, but in primary school, some of the things can be really difficult, and
yeah,
then as you said, it could overwhelm you,
yeah,
right? Yeah, so yeah. But with a high school or the secondary school, we have complex situations. You have to learn a lot of diagrams, a lot of chemical equations, a
yeah,
lot of mathematics, You can sit with math questions like for a day, so trying to rack your brain around it and then get a solution and all that. Yeah. So that's a lot more. Until yeah, you finally you exit
Yeah.
junior high school and then you go to senior high school. But before you can qualify, before you can make it to the senior high school, you have to sit for these common exams. That's the BECE. You know, with all your years you spent from kindergarten, primary
Yeah.
to junior high school,
Like
before
yeah.
you can go to
Yeah.
high school,
Yeah, like ACT in US.
like maybe an entrance
Yeah,
exams,
yeah, yeah.
right? So it's the government has a system. The government have that system in place where
Yeah.
you have to write, right? Yeah, you sit the BEC, Basic Education Certificate
Yeah.
examination. I think it's an exam taken in all of West African,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
The
yeah.
English speaking West African states
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then from the BCE, depends on your grade or your score,
Yeah.
you get we have ranks of schools, high schools
Yeah.
that it depends on what you score and then you be placed,
Yeah.
right? You get automatic placement in one of the high schools.
Yeah.
And then by the high school you just go and then you pick
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
program you want to study. I think
Okay.
we
Yeah.
have during my days, let me speak like from personal experience.
Yeah.
During my days,
Yeah.
there are about 7 programs. I think we have agriculture, we have business, we have general arts, we have general science, we
Yeah.
have technical, and then we have visual arts, and then we have home economics. All
Yeah.
right, I think the 7. That is for the regular high school system.
Yeah.
But we have vocational and then technical programs as well. These are the TVET school,
Yeah.
Technical Institute, and the Vocational Institute. They also have got different programs
Yeah.
that if you want to get hands-on experience, practical skills, right, yeah, you can go to those schools. But if you just want to work with a formal sector or just from high school, you will find just sort of formal system.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you just go to the normal high schools where
Yeah.
you read any of these programs
Yeah.
and then you get into the university and then you take it up from there.
Okay.
Right.